What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I know I haven't posted in almost a month, but it has been busy. It's been holiday seasons. We've had birthdays. We have good things and bad things. We have all the mess of life hitting us from all angles. But we're going to have a video today. We are going to respond to one of you guys. Shout out to you, Logan. You commented, I don't know, maybe about a week ago. Some really good questions that I think deserve going over. I have probably grazed them a little bit throughout my content, but we're going to try our best to spend a decent amount of time answering these and giving some reasons for the answers. But before we do that, let's go ahead and jump into giving you guys some shout outs. Now, since the last video, man, I've grown at least 100 subscribers. There's no way I can shout you guys all out. I don't even know who you guys all are, but I appreciate you so much. I mean, it means a lot to have the channel grow like this. I'm trying to fill a specific place here, giving knowledge that isn't necessarily something that's passed around too often, things that are just learned, and just putting them out there for you guys. So first off, let's go with 8th District Hounds. Thank you for subscribing, man. Let's go with William Cattle Co. Good Wood Trapping. You had some good comments here a while back. Hope I answered you in the comment section the best I could. I had a couple videos that I could direct you to. Let me know if you need more information. Just get down there and let me know, man. I'll try to help you out. Let's go Daniel Gerald, Dylan Whitehouse, Jason Sears, Junior Marriott, Cato's Ghost, and today's star Logan. So Logan had commented asking 3 different questions. And they are all very good questions, my man. I appreciate these questions, I really do. Work pups at night or day? Work litter mates together or not? And how often a week should you work pups early on? Okay, so each of these have a lot of different answers, and each of these can be looked at a lot of different ways. But working pups night or day, my personal preference, and I touched on this in my training coonhound videos, how to train a coonhound videos. One of those 3 videos has this covered a little bit, but I want to go into depth with this a little bit more. My pups, when I first get them, the first drag, I mean, the first introduction to the scent, the first introduction to the thing that you're putting your scent on. I use stuffed animals. The best situation for that is in the house, around the house, when they're really small. But when we go take them outside and we get them working outside, if they can find that drag and you run it through the yard and you hang it up somewhere and they go and find it, they don't have to bark, they don't have to do nothing. If they can just find that thing, and then we're going to transfer straight to dark. This curbs so many things that people hit the wall of maybe a year down the road and you don't even know it. It curbs light dogs. Light dogs is a thing that can happen super easy. I just had a recent comment. I hope that my comment helped you out. You know who you are. But light dogs is a super accidental thing. It's something that you don't even think of. And it's something that a lot of guys don't ever figure out that's actually happened, because it's just that, it's that subtle of a thing, and you would just think that you have a trash dog. So it curbs the light dog thing. Working at night builds their confidence. It makes them work their nose. I mean, there's so many benefits. They live in the woods in the nighttime. Build experience and confidence. There's so many good things to have a pup in the woods at night. So as soon as I start getting into the woods, as soon as I start running drags for them, after I've got that initial puppy stage and we're going into training stage now, it's all at night. It's all at night up until, now this is the caveat to this, up until I show them the first cage coon. So if you want to show them a live coon, you want to show it in the daytime. And this is for a lot of reasons, and it's so you can really pay attention and have a good idea of what that coon's doing, what that dog's doing. You have a lot more control of the situation. The dog has a lot more awareness. You're not going to spook the dog if it's just fumbling around in the dark with its nose, and then it happens on to being lunged at through the cage and just really getting a shock put in them. So first cage is going to be at daytime, and then we're going to go right back to night. After that, all of our cage work, all of our tree work, all of our cutouts, all of everything is going to be at night. So I hope that answers that part of working pups day or night. This is my personal preference, and I think it really thinks ahead, and it really sets you up for a lot of success. Because if we are thinking of a dog as we're training them and we're putting a foundation on this dog, the more things that you can cover and the bigger the foundation that you can build for that dog, the higher you can make that pyramid, right? So if we can get the dog's foundation as good as we can get it, the better that dog's going to be able to be built on top of, versus the guy that only wants to put one foundation brick and build an upside down problem, right? So let's not be the upside down problem guy. Let's be the guy that has the big foundation on our dog and it has a really high peak that the dog can reach. So thinking ahead in your training is a very good thing to do. All right, so the next one is working litter mates together. All right, so I was a big proprietor back in the day when I would acquire puppies to start. I would always buy 2 pups, and it really, this one is so stringent and so dependent on how them puppies act, right? Because you have some pups that if there's another dog around, all they want to do is play. And then that other one wants to play. So you get nowhere, you get nothing, but you get roughhousing and playing and running off and not paying attention, not minded. It causes a lot of issues. So if you have a dog that's got playfulness in it, separate it out, okay? You will get so much better results out of those dogs. You'll get much better results out of the pair of the dogs by separating them, working them separate, getting the playfulness out of them, and then bringing them back together and working them together that way, because we're just getting in our way, right? We're getting in our own way by just having playful, messy time going on with dogs running around, not minding, not focusing, not doing these things. They're yipping at each other. Maybe one was doing good and this one antagonized it, now it's not doing good. Now this is specifically speaking of 2 dogs. I think that it's a really good idea if you have a whole entire litter of puppies to go ahead and work that litter together, because dogs are very pack-minded, so they get a lot more confidence, they get a lot more crowd hive mind kind of idea behind them when you have a bunch of them together. And a good sized litter of dogs that got a lot of drive in them, real young, man, you'll see them, they'll tree hides and they'll do all kinds of stuff, and once you separate them out, you don't get that, but you see it when there's a bunch of them. So a whole litter together, absolutely, I would try to work and sift through the good ones and try to feel them out, which ones do need to be singled out. But right when they're a full litter, yes, I would work them together. If it's just litter mates 1 and 2, if they're about work and they're not going to play around, and once they smell that scent, they're about business, yes, work those dogs together, because they will work off one another eventually. So this gets a little tricky, guys, because it's dependent on certain key things, right? So if we're working pups together that are all about work and they don't want to play, they don't want to mess around, they want to do work, and they're working together good, we are going to work those dogs together until we get the results that we would want out of one dog. And then we will separate them and work them separate, get them farther along, and then if we want, we can bring them back together. If we have the dogs that don't want to focus, that don't want to work, they don't want to have the drive, they want to play, they want to run around, they want to do this, and this don't even have to be litter mates. It could be an older dog and a younger dog, right? The younger dog always wanting to nip at the big one's heels and not pay attention and not learn. So we want to separate these guys out and solo them out, and we're going to work them. What I used to do is use them and play them off one another. If I had this playful pair, I would leash them both up to the same tree, and then I would come get one, work it, while the other one's here working itself up, barking, and then I'll trade them out, work it, while it's sitting there working itself up. And what will happen is they'll build a competition, and they'll build a drive, and they'll play off one another, right? Instead of playing with each other and not focusing, they will be so worked up, ready to come off that chain or come off that leash to get out and do work what that other one was just doing, and then they'll perform. And then this one will sit back and watch and get worked up and mad and barking, and when it comes off the chain, it'll work even harder, and they'll work even harder, and they're working even harder. So working them in tandem like that, that's a good idea, but it's really stringent on the dog, right? This is going to be a kind of a longer video, guys, but stick with me because we got some more to go over. How often, how many days a week should you work a pup? This is dependent on the dog. It's not so much dependent on the dog, it's dependent on the dog's mentality. Okay, so what we run across a lot in the Coonhound world is stubbornness, right? So we're running into stubborn walls, and the harder that you push, the harder they push back. And some of these guys, man, I've been the guy. Everybody's been the guy. You take it personal. You're gonna fix that dog. That dog's gonna mind you, right? And you're gonna push and leverage that dog so hard that it's gonna quit being stubborn and it's gonna show you what it wants. But in the end of the day, you're gonna find out that you ain't more stubborn than that dog. And once you figure that out, you're gonna learn that taking a break and looking at it from an abstract angle to trick the dog out of being stubborn is a lot easier than stubbing up back to the dog. So how often is going to be dependent on how stubborn of a dog you have. And some dogs will stub up over funny stuff. They'll be doing great, and then maybe you said, hey, at the wrong time, dude, and they'll stub up on you for a year, man. Or if you guys have been through puppies and you guys have been through dogs, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The stubbornness is a thing that is formidable. It is trainer defeating in the Coonhound world, especially when it comes to training Coonhounds to actually get out here and hunt and do work. And if we are just proprietors and we're just kind of lifting them on their way and getting them tuned to which animal they should actually go, because they're going to go do whatever they want to anyway. We're just going to say, hey, if you just pick this one, it's good. You know, we're going to give you praise, we're going to give you treats, we're going to do whatever. So how many days, how often a week? If that dog's willing to work on what you want it to work on, work that dog. If that dog wants to stub up, you need to assess how to get that dog unstubbed. Sometimes it's wait a week, do the same thing, wait a week, do the same thing, wait a week, do the same thing. Now, Cash, okay, so Cash, man, he didn't have a whole lot of stubbornness in him, but he did want to stub up on me for barking after the drag. Okay, so how I fixed Cash on barking after the drag is I'd take him out in the yard, I'd leash him up, I'd come in the house. When he started barking, I'd go back outside, show him the drag. Of course, he's stubborn. He'd shut up as soon as he seen it because he knows what I want out of him, and he don't want to give it because he's being stubborn. So what I'd do is I'd put him up. Next day, I'd try it. Come in the house, wait till he starts barking, go out there, drag it. And when you do them like that, and you fight that stubbornness methodically instead of with like a anger attitude or like a I'm going to defeat you attitude, they have no choice but to break down and produce what you want, right? So it actually took me about a month. It took me about a good month working in maybe 2-day spurts, resting him a week, two-day spurts, resting him a week, before he finally just said, all right, I give up. I'm not going to be stubborn anymore. But that just goes to show you how stubborn Coonhounds are. He stubbed up on me for an entire month because I wanted him to bark at something that he was going to bark at anyway. He just didn't want to because I said so. So you got to watch the stubbornness and the stubborn-mindedness, because the last thing you want to do is stub them up on this, change to this, stub them up on that, change to this, stub them up on this. And then you have a dog that is stubbed up on 17 facets of training and you're getting nowhere. So this is what happens a lot. And sometimes, that's what I'm talking about. When you see a dog go from one owner to another owner, it will do anything and everything for that new owner, but it will do absolutely nothing for the old one, because they have built those stubborn roadblocks for themselves with that dog. And that's what we talk about, building trust with our dogs. So it's all dependent on the dog and building trust and understanding the mentality that your dog has and how far you can actually push the dog without making it a negative thing. So hope that answers that question. And let's move on to some updates here. So, I mean, Cashman, I love that dog. I got that dog. Cashman is currently downstate to a buddy of mine I have known for quite a few years, 10, 15 years, something like that. He coon hunts so much more than me. He's in the woods so much more than me. Cashman, it's known on the channel, he has sat up for 6+ months. He was sitting up since my last coon hunting video, he was sitting up. So I just come to a crossroad with Cashman to where he is a phenomenal dog and he deserves so much more work and so much more time than I was able to give him. So I went ahead and I just gave him to my good friend downstate, who was going to give him what he needs. He is going to take care of him and get some coons down to him and get some hunt time in him that he actually truly needs. And you know, and what can we say? I just had to do what was best for him. I really broke my heart to sit around here and have him not hunted and knowing he's such a great dog and stuff. So that's one. So we ain't gonna have no more cash man coon hunting videos going, but I'm still gonna give you guys my knowledge. Okay, so I wanted to talk about a little bit what I'm directing my channel for. I'm directing my channel for you guys, right? I want you guys to have a shared experience. A lot of the things that I talk about, a lot of things that I have went over, these are, I wouldn't say they're trade secrets, but these are just kind of common sense things that people who have handled and dealt with dogs a lot just kind of make a mental note of. And sometimes it's easy to chalk it up as, oh, everybody knows that, or that's super common sense. And nobody needs to hear that. But as I can tell from how many people that I've grown my channel from, there's a lot of guys that feel me and they understand what I'm talking about. And maybe if we get self-conscious in our head and we go, well, I'm going to keep this one to myself because I don't want to look like a fool. Well, there's one sad fact about the coon hunting world. There's not a lot of information on how to actually handle a dog. There's not a lot of information on how to train a dog. There is guys that know how to do it. There's guys that have dogs that do it, and they go, "Here's there's the dog. He does what I ask. That's how it works." When it's so much more nuanced than that. There's so many more little subtleties to it than that. And I think a lot of us, we get into, and maybe a lot of us have lost dogs that we really had high hopes for. Maybe a lot of us have given up or didn't get a dog finished or didn't get a dog to that first tree, and we knew that it's us making little mistakes and stuff like that. So I really want to direct that to you guys. I got your back. I hope you guys got my back. And thanks for coming in. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate it. I know this has been a really long video, but I haven't posted for a while. So maybe I will get some more posted. I do have a list of videos that I was going to go ahead and do before I hit 200 subs. But you guys actually blew me out of the water on that by almost 60 subscribers. So I really appreciate it. Thanks for stopping in to Meadowbrook Studios and Entertainment. Logan, I hope you liked the video. This one's specifically for you, man, and all you guys out there that may have had the same kind of question. I covered this the best that I could. I appreciate it. Don't forget to like and subscribe.